Hello friends, my name is Olga. I'm a mature medical student from Ukraine, and today I want to tell you about news from my country. A couple of them not good and couple, not just one is good. First of all, I want to start with Lukashenko's speech a day before. He told that Belarusian army could enter in Volyn region. It is Ukrainian, the most northern western region near Belarusian border and Poland. Belarusian army could enter it to protect western Ukraine from the west. Lukashenko told that Western Ukraine shouldn't be given to the West, so Belarusian army could enter to this territory and protect it. Of course, protect it means to destroy. It's the equal meaning, so it's not protection, but. Of course, it's not pleasant new for Ukrainians and for everyone, because we know that from the western border Ukraine receives some different types of weapons, some help, military help, and so it's not good situation. And if this military action happened, even if the Belarusian army is not that strong as Russian army, it close to Poland, and it will provoke Poland to join this war, because Poland also afraid that after Ukraine its territory will be next, and that's why it's this Belarusian action could cause and could make this war not just local with two sides, but with three with join of Belarusia, and even four with join of Poland. Like four countries will take part in this war. On the other hand, Poland have the NATO soldiers on its territory, and NATO try to not be involved in this war, and Putin tried to provoke it. So maybe it is the reason that Poland will not join this war, but anyway it will be high danger, because military action will be near its border. And it is very bad news for Ukrainians, and all these 3 months Ukrainian experts say that Belarusian army could join Russia, and the danger of it is high. But it not happened, because Lukashenko don't want it happened, because he knows that his people do not support him. And 2 years ago, when he beat his people and used police against his people, and it was just like a madness inside, because people didn't vote for him, and he stayed as a president. So he's not he's not a president actually, he just applied power. But the army is different thing, because army and police is a completely different thing in Ukraine, for example, and in almost all former USSR republics. Police people dislike police, and policemen, they not not sometimes honest, not support people. They could be angry with people, they could beat people. And actually Ukrainians and in Belarusian society and in Russia, I think civilian people dislike police, because police execute the orders of government, of powers, and sometimes they are not fair, they against law, so they support in Belarus, for example. In Ukraine they supported Yanukovych 8 years ago. In Lukashenko in Belarus they support Lukashenko. So civilian people dislike it. And army is different thing, because military people, they have like some more honest, they more honest, they have some principles, and they more support civilian people. And Lukashenko actually afraid of his own army, because, as I told you, he was very cruel with his own people to stay as a president, and so he afraid of his own people and the army, because if he give him to his army the bullets, the guns, they could apply it against him. On the other hand, Putin pushed him to join to this war because Putin feels like he had not much soldiers, he had not much, means. Of course, he had a lot, but anyway, it's not enough for capture Ukraine now. So he pushed on Lukashenko to join this war. And Lukashenko, he is not in good position because he don't know how to behave. Actually, he is quite sly person, and he lies all the time. In his speech, he could say different, even opposite opinions, and he changes his mind all the time, and his only goal just to stay in power. And he don't care about anything about his nation, about his country, about Putin, about West. He don't care. His own interest just to stay dictator in the throne, and be a leader. And he's the most fear to lose this power. So he tried do not be involved in this conflict because he afraid of his own army now. And the Putin pushes, and he this all 3 months tried to pretend that he will join, but some later, not now. He will join, but not now. He is told that there was a threat from the Polish side, that's why his army was near Polish border. Then he told that there is a threat from the Lithuanian side, and his army was near Lithuanian border. Then he said that his army will join, but it's not ready because they are in training, and so they trained all this time. But yesterday he told that Belarusian army should enter Volyn region because they don't want to let West take the Western Ukraine. It is quite, it's not good expression. And also he said that the army of Belarus should be increased at least in 2 times. Now they have 35,000 of soldiers or so, and he said that it should be 80,000. So it not 2 times, but quite big enlargement of army. Also, the young people from Belarus showed how they train now in Belarusian army. As I told you, Lukashenko afraid to give them a bullet, to give soldiers a bullet. So for example, they have military training. They use shovels to dig something, and also they use these shovels to train how to carry a gun. So the military officers even do not give the future soldiers guns to train how to carry it, but they just use their shovels to know how to use a gun. It is crazy, but I saw such pictures in internet, and it is kind of funny. And I hope that it is just expression for one watcher, this expression of Lukashenko for Putin, but from the other hand, maybe this his opinion about enlargement, maybe he's told it because of Putin pushed him to enlarge his army, and actually his army should be applied in this war against Ukraine. So the danger exists, and even if we know Lukashenko as a big liar, these expressions, they not positive, they are very bad, and they they make Ukrainians and actually Poland, maybe because it's too close to Poland, be prepared for such a bad surprise. Another strange expression of Putin on the he had some speech the day before, and he compared himself as a Peter the First, and he mentioned the battle between Russian Empire in history, its historical battle, and Sweden kingdom, and it was the battle for Ukraine. Maybe you remember such a hetman of Ukraine, Ivan Mazepa. He was like a big friend of Peter the First. But anyway, deeper in the mind, Mazepa, as a Ukrainian hetman and the Ukrainian patriot, he wanted Ukraine be not just autonomous republic of in Russian Empire, but be independent, and that's why he secretly from Peter the First make a union with Sweden kingdom to free Ukraine. And so there was Sweden, like the battle between Russia and Sweden, and it's historical, you know, it's deep history. It happened 200 or 300 years ago. But I think that Putin, as he likes to, you know, to read history and imagine that and compare himself with great, you know, leaders of, you know, past, like Peter the First, and he told that, for example, Peter the First with the battle with Sweden, he didn't take anything from Sweden. He just wanted to return. So everything that he doing now, it's just he returns his own lands, and it is very funny. It is sad, strange, and funny. In Ukraine, people do not understand this war, and do not understand the purpose of it. Of course, maybe he have some, you know, ambitions to be equal to Peter the First, but for example, Russia, if you watch on the map, it's quite huge territory, and it's not much by population, but it's just a huge territory. And the most of these people, if we not take, for example, Moscow, St. Petersburg, some couple, you know, big cities of Russia, the most of this territory, the population there very poor. They, for example, that Russians on the territory, they do not have toilets in their houses. They should go outside, you know, to when they need. They do not have they have the road without asphalt. So it's just you know, after some rain, it's just like a swamp, not road. They do not have gas. They using the wood to warming their house in winter. Russia sells gas. Russia, like because of this gas of oil, Russia make Europe listen to her and execute what Putin's want. But generally, actually, inside of Russia, most of the people in Russian villages, even in some not big towns, Russians, they do not have gas, they do not have any means, they do not know how to live normal life. And so when he said that he, like Peter the First, collect other territories and enlarge his empire, it is very strange, because he don't want to make inside his own country normal life for people, but he want to just destroy other territories to the west, where people have a much more better level of life, and they have a toilet inside, and the gas, and the you know, they more rich, but he want to destroy their normal life and return them into that dark times that simple Russians on the western parts of Russia, on the middle parts of Russia live. So it's like insane. I think he don't think about anything at all. Let's return to Ukraine, because to understand the logic of Russia and Russian people who support all this, it's very hard for Ukrainians. So we are close people, but now we understand that we are not that close by territory, but not close by, you know, our opinion, our way to of thinking. If we are talking about some local news from Ukraine today, what happened today, unfortunately, of course, now the hottest fights are near Severodonetsk. And yesterday, Russians, they occupied, or now they try to occupy the village Toshkivka. It is near Severodonetsk, on the south of Severodonetsk. And inside of Severodonetsk, hot fights, they happen now. And now they make a missile strike to the western Ukraine. It's Ternopil region. Precisely, it's city Chortkiv. Before, never this city was under Russian attack. And now the 22 people wounded and 2 children, including 2 children, because this missile struck some civilian house in the Chortkiv. And it is very scary, because when I moved out from my Kiev region, I moved to Chortkiv. Not just Chortkiv, but it was quite was not far from that place where I stayed for 1 week before I moved abroad to Slovakia. So it was close to Chortkiv, because when I traveled by train, Chortkiv, it was the station before my station. And when I heard that Chortkiv was under attack, it was like very scary, and I thought how that people that accepted me, you know, for that week, how they feeling now, because I was there. Maybe you remember a beautiful river when I told about 117 children was killed by Russians. For that time I was there. I told you about it in some park near beautiful river. I told you that maybe you remember that there was a siren, this scary sound of siren, and people didn't hide at all, because the siren, they always turn on when the Ukrainian system see that Russian missile on the way to west, and they do not know where they will strike, so they turn on siren in any city, any town, and people there didn't hide, because never happened like that, never was any strike. And now it happened in Ternopil region, and I'm quite shocked about that. Because I was near, and it is so scary. The one good news, the last is good news for today. I don't want to make this video too negative. Of course, Ukraine should return its territory, and now it happens on Kherson region. Before maybe 5 or days of a week ago, Ukrainian army make a successful counter-attack, and they return some not large but quite essential territory. They cross the river Ingulets, and it is very important, because to cross the river it's very hard from the military point of view, and they made it, like a place for the further attack in the future. and they enlarging it. It's from to the south from Kherson, and right now in other place, just around Kherson, from the three direction, Ukrainian army counter-attacked Russians and quite successful. And I know that they returned one village, Tavriiske, already, and their attack not stopped. They tried to counterattack on, and people are waiting waiting the moment when they will be at least near Kherson, near the city of Kherson. And now our army, it's maybe 15 kilometers from the border, the edge of Kherson city. So it is positive news. And when I watched the map on the Kharkiv direction, in that place where Ukrainian army reached the Ukrainian-Russian border, official border, now the Russians, they do not let Ukrainians to make them pull out completely from that, near Kharkiv. So they try to attack there again. So Kharkiv now also under attack, and the Russian army try to come closer, try to make our army step back. Unfortunately, that military help from West not essential. They do not give much so far, and it's not enough to for a victory, for counter-attack, for the massive counter-attack on on all directions. And it is very sad, unfortunately, but on the other hand, our experts said that our army more successful even with less weapon, because they they strike more precisely, they do not waste, weapon. But Russians, they do not count anything, they just strike everywhere, and they just cover some city by a huge number of artilleristic strikes. They do not hit, they do not strike precisely, and they spend a lot of this means. And Ukrainian army, they do not have such a possibility, so they strike exactly in the with the meaning to reach the success. So they strike without they do not strike without purpose, just to cover all city. They just strike when they see the numerous military equipment, machinery, people, and that's why they strike more successful. They reach their goals, and Russians just shoot everywhere. So that is the Ukrainian tactics now and Russian tactics, and unfortunately that Lend-Lease that United States signed, the Joe Biden signed, the weapon of it, didn't reach so far Ukraine, and our experts said that it cannot be like immediately in few days, because it should be taken from the places of where it was deposits, then taken to some military big ships, then the ships should travel closer to Europe, then from Europe should be delivered to Ukraine. So it takes time, at least maybe, I don't know, couple weeks or I don't know, months. So now Ukrainian army wait for that numerous weapons, because these weapons we are receiving not enough. But anyway, even with this number of weapons, in some direction our army counter-attacked and even returned some territories. So we hope that in the summer there will be some change, positively change, and Ukraine will return its territory, and Putin will be not successful Peter the First, not the follower of Peter the First as he count himself. And Lukashenko will not attack Volyn region and enrich his army, and this dictator also, the friend of Putin, will join the sad destiny of such dictators as Muammar Gaddafi or Ceausescu or other dictators. They never reigned for long, because in democratic world it's impossible, or other way for them just to create a completely closed state as a Northern Korea or something. So that is the all my video I wanted to share with you. Actually, I didn't plan it could be so long, but anyway, I wanted to share my opinion. I wanted to share my what is important news I have. Also, if you like my video, please hit the like button and subscribe. It is for free, but you will support me, and it will be very pleasant for me. But of course, if not, I cannot push on you. It's also okay. Thank you anyway for watching, and see you in the next video. Bye.